From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Local Point, brought to you by Strata Networks. I'm David Gale, filling in for Chris Piner today. Joining me in the studio, we have Bill Broyles and John Beasland to talk about the upcoming Shriners Hospital screening. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Now, before anything else, for people out there who are like me, who aren't really familiar with the Shriners, you guys do an awful lot more than just ride around on the little carts and parades.
We do. Yes, we do.
So maybe some introduction. Bill, you are from the Salt Lake area then?
Yes, I'm from Salt Lake City, and I am the potentate of Elcala Shrine.
And that's basically, you're kind of in charge of the entire Utah area then when it comes to Shriners.
That's correct.
And then John, you're a local. Everybody knows you.
Yeah, I think so.
we hope so. If not, this is John. He's a local. But what's your title?
I'm secretary of the Uinta Basin Shrine Club,
okay,
which is the local club. Throughout the state of Utah, we have several shrine clubs that, like in Moab and Ogden, Salt Lake, Vernal, wherever else, and all of us contribute individually as well as the other. I might mention you that our main source of money is the barbecue we have on August of each year,
okay,
and we have about 700-800 people come, and then most of that money goes to what we call the transportation fund to bring the children to the hospital in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
And so we have 22 hospitals throughout the United States, and we have our own in Salt Lake City, Utah, up on 11th Avenue. Beautiful facility, and we take care of a lot of kids up there every year.
And that's kind of why you guys have come here, is to talk about finding those kids who are in need.
Yeah. What we do first is we have what we call a screening committee, whereby they will bring the kids into the Masonic Temple on May 4th from noon to 4 o'clock, and we publicize it all over the county here and all 3 counties, and they can bring their kids into the screening clinic, and we then determine whether or not they have orthopedic problems that we can help them take care of.
Okay, and so a parent who may think that there's something wrong with their child, I mean, any kids, how do you decide whether or not, as a parent, to bring your kids to this?
Up to age 18,
okay,
if they have any deformities in their legs or that sort of thing, cleft palates, all sorts of things. We do all of that at Salt Lake and Portland, Oregon, Chicago, where it's California, wherever we have to send the kids sometimes away to get that stuff done.
Okay.
Most of it we do in our Salt Lake Hospital. Have great surgeons up there that do a good job.
And this is the second time that you've come out to do this kind of screening in the Vernal area, is that correct?
We have done it before, but it was quite a number of years ago.
Okay.
But we did one last year, and we're doing another one now, May 4th, Saturday, noon to 4 o'clock.
Now, do you typically do this, I mean, since you hadn't been here for a while and now you're here 2 years in a row, is there a reason for that?
Well, yeah, pretty much what we want to do, of course, is find kids that need help, that we can help. That's all it's about. That's the philosophy of the Shriners Hospital.
Okay, so let's say you find, last year you found children who needed help.
We did.
What happens with those kids? What does Shriners do for them?
Bill can take.
The clinic that we performed last year was one of the most successful ones we have done in the past many years. And from that, we feel like there's a real need in the Vernal area. So we're going to do another screening clinic this year, and we hope to bring in even more children than we brought in last year. Some of the things that are very common with children are clubfoot. We treat a lot of clubfoot, and we are very, very successful at it. We treat all kinds of orthopedic problems: wrists, hands, shoulders, ankles, legs, and this is all done at regardless of the patient's ability to pay.
Oh, okay.
That's very important. We really feel like that there's a need again in the Vernal area for children, and that is what we're here to do. We will have personnel from the hospital. We'll have a nurse here, and she will privately ask the parents and the children some questions, and at that time she will determine if we're able to help them, and they will make appointments at that time for that child.
Wow. To take them out to Salt Lake and to perform whatever surgery may be necessary for the child?
Absolutely.
And tell me about the hospital itself. I've never seen the Shriners Hospital. We have one in Salt Lake. How does it compare to other hospitals?
The Shriners Hospital is in the Federal Heights area of Salt Lake City. It's on 11th Avenue and Virginia Street. It's a fairly new hospital. It was built in 1995. It's a 44-bed hospital, but as trends change in the medical field, more and more patients are coming in and leaving rather than staying long term. It's just a trend in the medical industry. Since Shriners has been in the medical business, sometime last year, we treated our 1 millionth child.
Wow.
So we're very proud of that.
That's great. You guys have done some amazing work, and we've got so much more to talk about. So stay right here, and you guys stay with us, and we'll be right back after hearing from our sponsor, Strata Networks.
Strata Networks is proud to bring the first true 4G LTE network to the Uinta Basin. 4G LTE is the most powerful mobile broadband available anywhere in the world. With speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G, you can stay connected like never before. Video chat without delay, stream HD TV or movies in an instant, and download or upload in seconds. For details, visit us in Roosevelt or Vernal or call 622-5007. More speed, more power. 4G LTE, only from Strata Networks.
Welcome back to Local Point. We've been talking with Bill Broyles, and now we welcome into the studio Brett Reynolds. Welcome. Now I understand, well, first of all, let's recap really quick. We're talking, of course, about the Shriners Children's Screening that's coming up in Vernal on the 4th of May. From noon to 4?
Yes.
And where is it located again? Where is this happening?
It'll be at the Vernal Masonic Temple.
Okay.
What is the address, Brett?
It is, I think, first west and about second south.
If you live in Vernal, you know where it is.
If not, they probably know who I am or John is, and just get a hold of us and we'll get you there.
Speaking of knowing who you are, you weren't a part of the Masonic Lodge, I understand, until sometime recently.
No, I wasn't. I actually met these guys through a similar situation as what they're discussing, and was so impressed with guys like John that woke up one day and I was one of them.
You just couldn't help it.
Couldn't help it. They're good guys.
Just by association, if nothing else.
Guilt by association.
So tell me what happened with your child and meeting these gentlemen from Shriners.
Well, about 9 years ago, we adopted twin babies from Haiti. And unfortunately from Haiti, you don't know a lot to what to expect, and not that it would have made a difference, but our little boy was born with a condition called schismcephaly, which is very similar to had stroke. Held his hand, his leg was twisted as he walked. And we went down to a state screening, and they mentioned to us, we really need to get him operated on, move the tendons of his foot around. And the doctor asked me about insurance. Well, at the time I was brand new, self-employed. Quite frankly, I wasn't doing bad, but I didn't have good insurance, if any at all. He says, perfect, I wanted you to go to the Shriners Hospital anyway. And I didn't know much about it. My experience with the Shrine was, my dad loved Ray Stevens, and I've been teasing him about being the illustrious potentate, and that's about as much as I knew about the Shriners. But they set up an appointment. We went out there, and they actually scheduled the surgery because the man doing the surgeon happened to be the doctor in Vernal. So we kind of got to skip one step. And I wasn't sure what to expect when I got there. We had mentioned they'd had problems with anesthesia with him, so they flew a gal in from Mayo Clinic to be the anesthesiologist, no questions. And I was still expected to help or pay or contribute, and I got a questionnaire that said, do you make more or less than $40,000? Well, there wasn't a right or wrong answer. There was no other question. There wasn't a billing desk in the whole hospital. Had the surgery, it was phenomenal. It was a unique hospital. Most hospitals are be quiet, keep calm. This hospital has kids terrorizing the hospital. They go rob the cafeteria when they feel like it. You better watch out because there'll be an IV truck, I think you can say, run you over as you go through. The biggest problem for the kids is there's only about 20 Nintendo games and they probably need 21. And they provided everything. They did a phenomenal surgery, and still I was so confused. Where do I pay? They wouldn't let me pay. When we were done, they provided the prosthetic piece that went around his foot to brace it. And then because he had that prosthetic piece, he needed one shoe bigger than the other, and they sent us home with a new pair of shoes.
Wow.
it was just an amazing, it was a stunning experience to me. I thought, you know, there's a lot of good groups, a lot of my members of, too many groups I'm probably a member of. But a big deal is to provide vaccines or eyeglasses or something. I'm thinking, what kind of guys wake up one day, someone had to have been drunk, I thought, to wake up one day and say, let's build a hospital and let's not charge anybody to come. But really, guys like Bill here are just that neat of guys, and it's really that neat a hospital with that quality of service.
That's incredible. So, you know what, to answer that question, how does it work? I mean, it seems like such a phenomenal organization to be willing to do so much. You have to, where's the backing come from?
The backing comes partly from the members, contributions, investments, fundraisers like they do out here in Vernal in August. We do one in Smithfield. We do several in Salt Lake City. And all together, we are able to fund the hospital with pretty much just everyone helping out.
That's incredible.
The East-West Shine game isn't just a game.
No, no.
That is the Shriners football game, one of their fundraisers.
Yes.
And most of this stuff I've just figured out as of late, but a lot of good people in the world put a lot of good time in.
And
especially guys like Bill, and earlier you got to visit with Mr. John Beaslin, and
yes,
boy, those guys have just put their heart and soul into it, and it's phenomenal.
And as a result of your experience, now you are part of the engine that's helping other people.
I'm getting closer to part of the engine. A little bit about the Shrine. It's an appendage body of the Masons. You have to be a Mason to be a Shriner, but just because you're a Mason, you're not a Shriner. And I just haven't got time to get out to Salt Lake. Now I help with the barbecue every year and support anything Shriner, but officially I don't get one of these cool hats yet.
Well, you're striving for the cool hat.
I'm striving for the cool hat.
Now, just we only have a little bit of time left, but I wanted to make sure that we touched on how much work that hospital in Salt Lake does. You're part of a region that's not just Utah.
That's correct. That's correct. There are 22 hospitals in our system. We are fortunate to have one of them, which is orthopedic in Salt Lake City.
All right, very well.
And maybe let me emphasize one more thing. When you say screening, I know that scares people. I think they're going to be screened on income, ability to pay, whatever.
Sure.
Screening means I'm blind in my right eye. The orthopedic surgeon can't help me. Screening only refers to making sure this is a disability or a problem that they can help.
Right.
Screening is not about can you afford it or not. Are you too poor or are you too rich? Screening is about can we help you? And I think that's a really big misconception.
Yeah, and as you've experienced yourself, they definitely have. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but don't forget, it's May 4th from noon to 4 at the Masonic Lodge in Vernal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Or find Brett or John. That's it for us. Thank you today for watching our show. That's all for now. We'll see you here next time on VTV Channel 6.